The Birth of a Legend, 1765 to 1778. In the mid-18th century, Britain's naval supremacy was under constant challenge. The need for a fleet that could dominate the seas led to the creation of some of the most iconic warships in history. Among these, HMS Victory stood out not merely as a ship, but as a statement of power and ambition. Laid down in 1759 at the historic Chatham Dockyard, HMS Victory was a first-rate ship of the line, designed to carry 100 guns and a crew of over 850 men. She was built during the reign of King George III, at a time when Britain was embroiled in conflicts across the globe, including the 7 Years' War. The ship's design represented the pinnacle of naval architecture of her time, a perfect balance of firepower, speed, and durability. Named Victory, the ship's title foreshadowed the legendary role she would play in Britain's naval history. Her construction was meticulous. Oak from the forests of England was selected for its strength and resilience. Each plank, nail, and beam was assembled with precision, reflecting the craftsmanship and engineering genius of 18th-century shipbuilders. By 1778, HMS Victory was ready for action, a gleaming warship representing Britain's aspirations to dominate the seas. Her launch was celebrated as a national achievement, signaling the rise of a vessel that would later become synonymous with courage, strategy, and naval excellence. Early voyages and naval warfare, 1778 to 1793. HMS Victory was first commissioned during a period of intense maritime conflict. The American Revolutionary War had drawn Britain into a struggle across the Atlantic, requiring a formidable fleet to protect its interests. Victory quickly proved herself, serving in blockades, convoy protection, and engagements that tested her crew's skill and the ship's endurance. Her first deployments were not without challenges. Navigating the treacherous Atlantic waters, facing storms and logistical difficulties, the ship became a symbol of British resilience. Her crew, a mix of seasoned sailors and young recruits, learned to operate a vessel that was both massive and complex. Life aboard was harsh. Sailors faced cramped quarters, limited food, and the ever-present danger of naval combat. During these years, Victory honed her reputation. She participated in skirmishes with French and Spanish fleets, asserting Britain's dominance in key maritime theaters. Her firepower, combined with tactical innovation by her captains, allowed her to play pivotal roles in naval operations that would influence the course of global conflict. Even in peacetime maneuvers, HMS Victory was revered. She was a floating fortress, her decks a stage for discipline, precision, and the display of Britain's naval might. These early years laid the foundation for her eventual rise to legendary status. The Age of Nelson, 1793 to 1805. No story of HMS Victory is complete without Admiral Horatio Nelson, whose leadership transformed her into an enduring symbol of British naval power. Nelson took command of the ship during the French Revolutionary Wars, a period when Britain faced existential threats from revolutionary France. Under Nelson, Victory became more than a vessel. She was a mobile command center, a symbol of courage and tactical brilliance. The Admiral's strategies relied on bold maneuvers, precise gunnery, and the unyielding spirit of his crew. Nelson's relationship with his sailors was unique. He inspired loyalty and devotion, transforming ordinary men into a cohesive force capable of extraordinary feats. The pinnacle of HMS Victory's service came during the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. As the flagship of the British fleet, she faced a combined Franco-Spanish armada off the coast of Cadiz. Nelson's daring tactics, dividing his fleet into two columns to break the enemy line, turned the battle into a decisive victory. Despite heavy cannon fire and devastating losses, Victory stood firm. She absorbed countless broadsides, her timbers shaking but not yielding. The battle was brutal. Over 1,500 sailors and officers were killed or wounded across the fleets, and Nelson himself fell on the quarterdeck, mortally wounded. Yet his vision and leadership ensured a victory that cemented Britain's control of the seas. HMS Victory emerged from Trafalgar as a national hero, her decks stained with the blood of the fallen, yet etched with the story of courage and resilience. She became an icon, representing the spirit of the Royal Navy and the determination of Britain to secure its empire through maritime supremacy. Life after Trafalgar, 1805 to 1922. After Trafalgar, HMS Victory continued to serve the Royal Navy, but gradually transitioned from a frontline warship to a symbol of heritage and tradition. She participated in occasional missions and served as a training vessel, her presence inspiring successive generations of sailors. By the 19th century, technological advancements, such as steam propulsion and ironclad ships, made first-rate sailing ships like Victory obsolete in combat. However, her historical significance grew. The Admiralty recognized her value as a monument to Britain's naval achievements. In 1922, HMS Victory was moved to Portsmouth and preserved as a museum ship. This marked the beginning of her second life, a living testament to naval history. Visitors could walk her decks, explore her cabins, and witness firsthand the ship that had shaped the fate of nations. Her guns, rigging, and timbers became artifacts of an era when naval power defined empires. The ship also became a center for ceremonial occasions. Flags flew in her honor, and commemorations of battles, especially Trafalgar, were held to honor the bravery of sailors and officers who had served aboard her. HMS Victory had transitioned from a tool of war to a symbol of national pride. The Battle of Trafalgar, 1805. The defining moment for HMS Victory came on October 21, 1805. The British fleet, under Nelson, faced 33 French and Spanish ships off Cape Trafalgar. Nelson's plan was bold: divide his fleet into two columns and pierce the enemy line, a maneuver considered risky but potentially decisive. Victory, as the flagship, led the action. Her cannons roared, smoke filled the air, and the decks shook with each broadside. The battle was brutal. Nelson was mortally wounded on the quarterdeck, yet his tactics led to a decisive British victory. Over 22 enemy ships were captured or destroyed, and Britain's naval supremacy was cemented. HMS Victory emerged not only as a warship, but as a legend. After Trafalgar, 1805 to 1812. Following Trafalgar, HMS Victory continued to serve as a flagship in minor engagements and naval exercises. While the Napoleonic threat persisted, the ship's role shifted from frontline battles to training and fleet coordination. The ship's fame grew. Reports of her actions at Trafalgar circulated throughout Britain, inspiring patriotism and respect. Sailors took pride in serving aboard Victory, knowing they were part of history in the making. Transition to a heritage ship, 1812 to 1922. By the 19th century, naval warfare evolved. Steam power, iron hulls, and more advanced weaponry rendered wooden ships like Victory obsolete. However, Britain recognized her historical importance. Victory was preserved at anchor in Portsmouth, eventually becoming a museum ship. She stood as a reminder of Britain's naval golden age, attracting visitors eager to witness history firsthand. Restoration and preservation, 1922 to 1960. Time and weather took their toll. Decay in the hull, rot in the timbers, and damage from storms required extensive restoration. Naval architects and preservationists employed traditional shipbuilding techniques to maintain authenticity. Every replacement timber, rope, and cannon was carefully crafted to preserve her 18th century design. By the mid-20th century, HMS Victory had become not only a museum, but a symbol of British naval heritage, celebrated in ceremonies, films, and literature. HMS Victory in modern times, 1960 to 2000. During the late 20th century, HMS Victory hosted educational programs, historical reenactments, and official naval ceremonies. Millions of visitors walked her decks, experiencing the life of sailors and the grandeur of 18th century naval warfare. Her image appeared in media worldwide, symbolizing courage, leadership, and resilience. She became more than a ship. She became a cultural icon. the global symbol of naval excellence, 2000 present. HMS Victory's legacy transcends Britain. Naval academies, historians, and enthusiasts worldwide study her design, battles, and leadership lessons. She serves as a reminder of the strategic importance of naval power, the human courage behind it, and the innovation that sustained it. Annual Trafalgar Day commemorations honor her role in shaping world history. The timeless legacy. Today, HMS Victory continues to inspire. She stands in Portsmouth, preserved, celebrated, and revered. Visitors can walk her decks, stand where Nelson once commanded, and connect with history. Her story is a testament to engineering genius, strategic brilliance, and the courage of countless sailors. HMS Victory remains a living monument, symbolizing not only Britain's past naval victories, but the enduring spirit of maritime excellence.